Once a jolly swagman camped by a billabong under the shade of a coolabah tree. He sang as he watched and waited till his billy boiled. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me.
Hey, g'day guys, it's Shane here with the Backyard Bushman channel again, and this is a video response to a mate of mine's video he put out there. His name is Morgan Garret. I will have a link to his channel included in this video, of course, and it will be a video response to his prior video, which tagged me. And his video, one of many videos, was on a couple of books that he's been reading about wild edibles, or in particular herbs. And went over a couple of books, very good books, as you know, as far as I took from the video that he did. You know, that broke down different plants and how to identify them and what their medicinal uses were, and so on and so forth. It's a great video. Check it out. And again, like I said, there will be a link for you to go check out his video and his channel. So I got tagged. Never been tagged before. You know, whatever. But you know, I don't understand the politics of YouTube, but as I've been tagged to do something, I guess I film a video and then I send it on to somebody. Now the thing is, I don't have a lot of books right now. I am dead smack bang in the middle of preparing to return to Australia, which will be very shortly. It's very exciting and very complicated. And because of that, I've been liquidating and getting rid of everything I own left, right, and center. You know, my gear and books and just a whole bunch of, you know, crap that I've managed to collect, and you know, it's all got to go. So one of those things that has gone basically is all the books that I had that, you know, I can't take into Australia. It's too costly, and I'm basically just going to go there with what I can carry, start over. But I do have a couple of books that I held on to because I particularly like those books. Now, they're not spot on about, you know, wild edibles and herbals and whatever else, but I feel that they're relative to the subject. And again, it's pretty much 2 of maybe 4 books that I actually have in my possession at this point in time, and I'm going to go over them right now. Now, the first one, it's a funny little book. It's called Chinese Health Diets. Okay, it's this little paperback book here. I'm not even going to pretend that I can read the guy's name. But basically, I don't recall where I got this. It's a very thin book, and I have absolutely no clue where I picked it up from. Maybe it was a gift. It was printed in the there we go, 1978 here in Washington and Seattle. And basically, it's exactly what it sounds like. Chinese Health Diets is a little book, a little guide about, you know, different foods and how they can cure different physical ailments. I'm not a guru on Chinese diets and dietary, you know, nutrition and whatnot. But the basic principles of Chinese health through diet is you treat like conditions with like food. So say, for example, you know, as far as I understand it, and don't quote me on it, if you have a kidney problem, then you would eat more kidney. You know, and then, you know, because, well, you don't have a potato in your head to eat more potato, basically it breaks down the different plants and their different properties and what they're very good for. And then it goes into, you know, it's got the breakdown of these are your symptoms, this is what you can take for it. It's got the different plants, what they're medicinally regarded as being very good for. And then it even has some, you know, different recipes in it. For example, you know, here's one page. It just says backache and feeble legs, and it, you know, goes in to talk on why that might be the case. And then, you know, following herbs and plants are helpful for the problems that are used in the recipes in this section. It says dried papaya, tuchong, I don't know what that is, plants, black beans, red beans, peanuts. And then it, you know, basically says, hey, here's some recipes for it and how you can prepare those to, you know, help the problem. It's really simple, and the thing that I really like about this book is, whilst there's some kind of, you know, crazy far out there ingredients that you're not going to find at your local grocers, you know, anybody that lives in an urban center, you know, has a Chinatown or something like that they can go down. I've got one near me where they just have a wall-to-wall stuff of, you know, Lord knows, well, I have no clue what it is, you know, but I can go in there, I know for a fact, and tell him, here's a list of the stuff I want, and that guy will hook me right up. It's really worth looking into. There's been a lot of people out there that have had great success with, you know, trying this out, and in all honesty, it's such a simple, what's the word? concept that there's really, I don't see there being any real negative, impact to you. You're not altering your diet entirely. It's just, this is a meal that you can have, and everybody's going to eat, so why not? If you can make a tasty dinner at the same time as help yourself with a condition that you might have, or something like that, then it doesn't hurt to get a little exploratory and inventive with your meals. So again, that was Chinese health diets. Right there, it's Zhou Hens Kwok Yan Lu. I don't speak Chinese. I don't know how to pronounce it. I certainly can't read it. But really cool little book. And if you ever perchance see it, I would pick it up. Now the other book I have, it's kind of funny, but it's actually been a really good read. It is called, hang on a second. It's called Surviving Australia. Okay, it's a practical guide to staying alive by a woman named Sorrel Wilby. Now, my wife bought me this book for Christmas, basically so I could read up on the ins and outs of stuff that I might not know in Australia. But it makes for a really good read because it's funny, she's definitely very Australian in the book. She uses a lot of our lingo and whatnot. And at the same time, it's written with a mind to people that don't necessarily speak fluent Australian English. So I'm getting a bit of a laugh reading through it. But it's a great book, and apparently she's a bit of an adventurer. This is a woman that's been all over the place and lived with, indigenous cultures in different countries and climbed Everest and so on and so forth. And so far, a lot of really, really good information in there. I've tagged a couple of pages of things that I intend to shoot videos on when I get into Australia or I want to look further into. It's been a really good book, and it's not a super thorough, this is your SAS survival guide. This is a really good read for somebody to read before they head into, down to Australia and decide to be, do the ecotourism thing. It's a pretty decent field guide. I wouldn't say that there's, I haven't read the whole book. I don't know whether there's going to be a vegetation, glossary in here. I don't believe there is. There is reference to certain things. Geez, I'm about halfway through it, actually. There's an awfully big appendix at the end of it. But basically, it is really full of really good tips and advice for people that are going to Australia and decide to, get out past the cities and get a little adventurous. I hope there's a really good wild edibles in here, a section in here. But again, like I said, I don't have a lot of books right now. Not seeing anything in particular. But it's funny. It's funny as a book because it even goes into explaining the different kind of people that you find in Australia, the different subcultures, and how you can best approach them and not basically tick them off with any kind of cultural ignorance per se. So again, like I said, that's Surviving Australia, a practical guide to staying alive by Sorrel Wilby. If you're at all interested in going to Australia, it's definitely worth checking out. I don't know where she got it. You'd have to ask her, but I'm not in the habit of, prying her for information about any of my Christmas presents. So I don't have any books specifically for, herbals and wild edibles and whatnot at this point in time. I personally, as a habit, I don't have a lot of money to go, spend on a book, and don't get me wrong, I think that books are a really great investment. More people should read more often. It's great brain food, basically. But I tend to, if I'm in the field and I find a plant that I can't identify, or maybe I can, or I'm curious about it, I'll take a photo of it with my camera, come home, do all the research, ask for advice if I need it, identify that plant, write some notes in my Write in the Rain notebook there, and then next time I get out there, I'll have that information on hand. I'm very careful with wild edibles. I might come home, identify something, have photos on the computer, be back out in the bush there, in the woods, I should say, and see the same plant again, but just that little nagging thought of, well, you haven't been trained, you're not 100% certain here. I'll take another photo of it, go home, confirm that, yep, that's the plant I was looking at. Yep, I've confirmed it. It's certainly the plant that, I've identified before. And the next time that I'm out, then, I'll try to sample it or something like that and, do some work with it. I find that reading is really great, but I find that the internet is it's just a wealth of information. It's interactive, and you can pull up pictures. You can go to that link, and you can interact with people on your Facebook and whatnot to find out, more information, ask direct questions. So I'd advise anybody to, have a really thorough, method, basically, if they want to learn about the wild edibles and plants and herbs and whatnot. And, if you ever need any advice, you can ask me. You can ask a whole bunch of people. Go to the Pathfinder Forum. There's people all over that can help you with that kind of thing. Now, with that being said, that's pretty much the end of my clip. I'd love to have some huge glossary of information, you know, or a library that I could refer to, but that's just not the case, unfortunately. But I'm super interested in seeing the videos of the other people that Morgan tagged in his video, and in turn I need to tag some people. So firstly, I'm going to tag, well actually I'm just going to tag a handful of people, you know, people that I respect and I, you know, regard as very well informed, at the very least, on YouTube. So the first person I'd like to tag would be Dave Wendell over at Bushcraft on Fire. Haven't kept up on Dave's stuff. I've been very busy, but every video, you know, I checked out some of Dave's videos the other day that I'd seen before just to reference the project I was working on. And, you know, Dave has a really great style with his videos and the way he teaches. He's an incredibly well-informed person. Next person I'd like to tag would be Adam at Equip to Endure. You know, Adam does a lot of gear reviews, very thorough gear reviews. And, you know, he does us all a great service by really breaking down, you know, the ins and outs of different things, particularly knives and whatnot, different stuff I've seen him do. But Adam is, you know, he really is an outdoorsy guy. He certainly gets his, into some adventures and whatnot, so I'd like to see if he has any books that he regards as particularly useful for this subject, you know, wild edibles and herbals and whatnot. Another person I'd like to get to do a video would be a guy that's here in Washington, Beast 12101. I'm sure you guys have seen his videos before, but Beast has done some really great stuff in the past and continues to do so. And I find his videos incredibly informative, so I'd really like to see him do a video in response to this, so you've been tagged as well. The last guy I would like to tag, you know, has done some stuff on different wild edibles. I've seen him sit there and try just about every MRE that's available. And I don't envy him that, but is particularly really well known and regarded for his knife reviews, and that would be Cutlery Lover. I figured, you know, this would give you a chance to stretch out your wings. I've seen that you've done a couple videos of basic wild edibles and whatnot, so, and you're, again, a very well-educated person, so I'd like to see what kind of books that you have in your collection regarding this subject. So again, it's Dave Wendell, Bushcraft on Fire, Adam at Equip to Endure, Beast 12101, and Cutlery Lover. I'll be sending you guys share information on this video. Again, this is a video response to Morgan Garret's video on the ghillieman channel. And I advise you guys to check that out and check out the people that he tagged, because I'm sure everybody's going to have their responses soon. And again, there will be links in the description, guys. So this has been Shane with the Backyard Bushman channel. I really appreciate you guys, you know, checking out my videos and watching this one. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I'll see you next time.
You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me.